And there you have it, confirmation of signal from the spacecraft, Europa Clipper. In the room there at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory erupting in applause. These teams have worked a long time. You've got some high fives.
Good. Flight, I got data on SSC. Copy, telecom. Flight, this is telecom. Looks like 12 kilosymbols per second as expected. Copy, telecom.
Solid data rate.
We're in lock. Flight, this is telecom. We're in lock. Copy, telecom. Flight systems. Go systems. We have telemetry. We received good tempos and our displays are lighting up. Copy systems. Initial act is confirmed.
And now they just locked in full telemetry from the spacecraft. Another big milestone.
Flight prop. Go prop. We are vented and primed. Thank you, prop.
Propulsion system now is ready.
Flight, this is Nav.
Go Nav.
We see Doppler data.
Copy Nav.
Break. Flight systems.
Go.
We're reporting status that both branches failed to vent. Can prop please confirm if venting occurred successfully?
I was about to do that. The pressures are good, but we are seeing the valve venting flag. We're taking a look right now. Copy, prop. Thank you. Flight GNC. Go GNC. We do see, there's the telemetry just came in too. We do see that we are already in the mode GNC 3RS track sun point, and with the Z-axis rate is consistent with the Z-axis roll. Copy, thank you, GNC.
Flight FP.
Go FB.
So the particular condition about bus branch failing venting does not trigger a monitor, and we have no indication that anything tripped, so it just moved on to priming.
Copy.
Can hear you, Sammy. Copy. Is that if both branches fail venting, the behavior moves on to and attempts priming. So if that is successful, we could get into track sun point like we're seeing here. Depending on the cause of the both branches failing venting, which we'll look for prop to confirm more details on.
Copy activity. Activity as you see signs of the launch behavior continuing, please call it out.
Yes, if we're flight this activity.
Go ahead.
Being in our track sun point at this point, we are waiting the hour thermal roll, so we should all be looking for signs of being in the thermal roll right now.
Copy activity. Yeah, flight GNC, just to confirm it again, we are in the thermal roll right now. And so GNC sees that we have already successfully found the sun, done a slew to sun point, and initiated the Z-axis roll. So good indication that GNC is using the engine successfully. Copy GNC. Do you have an estimate on the start time of that thermal roll? We're working that right now. I'll get that back to you. Thank you. And activity, when you have the telemetry in step 2-8, or can confirm the telemetry in step 2-8, please let me know.
Flight CP.
Go ahead, B.
Is power seeing anything in the thermal roll? Do we see any change?
Go ahead, power.
Stand by.
So what you're hearing is the propulsion system was primed. It didn't get a vent on it, but they have later come to get confirmation that indeed the spacecraft is in a roll, so the propulsion system appears to be working.
Yeah, absolutely. They have all good telemetry and everything going well. The spacecraft team's very happy, and they got into their thermal roll and doing very well. So awesome to see deployment. Awesome to see Europa Clipper on its way for this successful mission. Great job by all the teams on today's launch.
Big congratulations to the teams that have all been working so many years to get to this point. There's still a lot of work to do. Several hours from now, they will begin to cut the thermal knives that will slice open the holding mechanism that allows that solar array to expand, and then that'll bring them power to the spacecraft that'll get them on their way.
Yeah, 30 meters solar. That's just impressive from that aspect. And Daryl, again, a great launch today, great separation. I say to Jenny on the host desk, awesome. Hope you're happy. Hope the JPL's team happy. We at LSP are so proud to provide you with SpaceX, a great launch today. Thanks for being with us. And Daryl, as usual, thanks for having me. An exciting one.
So appreciate having you, Mick. Thank you for your expertise and your knowledge and insight in this mission. It is always helpful to help us understand what's going on. So thank you very much. And that'll wrap it up for us. So we'll send it now back to the host desk and Megan and Jenny.
Yeah, thank you so much, Daryl and Mick. It was really cool to have you guys in there walking us through all of those milestones. And yes, I can confirm for you, Mick, that there were some happy tears next to me. more tears. So to recap, for those just joining us, the Europa Clipper spacecraft has separated from the Falcon Heavy second stage. It's on its own in space, but the team has confirmed a signal from the spacecraft and is now getting all the data that we were expecting from the spacecraft. How are you feeling in this moment? I know we just said happy tears.
Happy tears. I know, seeing the separation and the spacecraft moving away from the second stage is just, that's the last time that, human eyes will see the spacecraft, right? From now on, it's on its own. And so that's incredible. And getting AOS and then the full telemetry right afterwards, it's, we test these things, but it's amazing to see it happen and confirm. There's a little bit of relief in there.
Yeah, we're going to hear from JPL in just a little bit about what full telemetry is, but explain why that is such a big deal.
Yeah, so it basically allows all of our different subsystem experts to weigh in and say, okay, I'm seeing, my system looks good, I'm checking this, that looks, that's in the range we expect it to be. So it allows us to really understand the full kind of health of the spacecraft.
And so that's why you were cheering.
Yes.
She was in the room. Yes, all of us in the room were cheering. Again, a huge moment for the Europa Clipper team. And I know so many of you guys out there as part of the team, part of Jenny's team, really share in the relief and excitement. So let's get some more reaction from Mission Control at NASA's JPL in California. Raquel, all the cheering that we saw in that room was super cool to see.
And Megan, and the cheering hasn't stopped. We just heard some moments ago, and the team is still celebrating. And right now we are joined by Tim Larson, Deputy Project Manager for Europa Clipper. Now, Tim, there's been a tremendous amount of work that went into this moment. Tell me how you and your team are doing.
This is so exciting. This is a culmination of the work of thousands of people representing millions of work hours over the years to design this mission, to design the spacecraft, build it, to test the entire system to make sure this system is now able to do everything it needs to do on the way to Jupiter and once we get there in our orbits around Europa. This is every person here and has contributed to this have all contributed to making history today.
And we have acquisition of signal and telemetry. Can you tell us about that data that you've received?
Yes, that's the data that tells us the spacecraft, the state of the spacecraft. It tells us what equipment is on and off, the temperatures, voltages, currents, software messages that tell us what's going on. So all of that informs the team in the MSA, and they can now start evaluating the state of health of the spacecraft and its readiness to keep going.
And we're celebrating now, but there is still a lot of work ahead. Can you walk us through what the next few weeks look like for Europa Clipper?
Yeah, this is going to be a busy time for the team because now that the spacecraft is flying on its own, we'll go through a series of activities where we check out every bit of equipment on the spacecraft, make sure that every subsystem is working as it's supposed to, and then we'll start a series of activities checking out the instruments on the spacecraft. And we have a couple of key deployments that come up right after that, deploying the boom for the magnetometer and deploying the antennas for the radar instruments. So it's going to be a busy few weeks.
Exciting times ahead. Tim, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations to you and your team.
Thank you. This is so exciting for the entire team.
And that'll do it here at JPL. Megan, back to you.
All right, I'm back here at the Space Coast. We are now joined by Dr. Denton Gibson with NASA's Launch Services Program. Today, he was on console supporting the launch. Another successful mission for you guys.
Yes, it was, and an exciting one. It was a beautiful day to launch a rocket to Europa.
Absolutely.
I mean, we couldn't ask for better weather, so that was amazing. But first of all, I just want to say thank you to the amazing team that we have, the combined NASA, SpaceX, LSP JPL team. It did an amazing job, and this team never stops amazing me.
Yeah.
I mean, just a couple of days after we had a extremely major hurricane hit, with a lot of teams still without power, we were able to get through this countdown and have this amazing launch. we couldn't ask for a better team that was working this. And I could just say, and of course, our partners at the Space Force also supported us through this launch. But it was just amazing that we got through this.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll just say, as
Yeah.
a member of the Europa Clipper team, we are very grateful for the ride to space. So thank you so much.
Yes, that was awesome.
Yeah, and specifically, I mean, speaking from the team, you know, the fact that, again, we were talking about this earlier, that NASA and SpaceX were able to, like, bring this together to bring us to launch today. Talk a little bit about that with Denton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially right on the heels of a hurricane. It seems like this was a monumental effort to get to this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, you know, even though many members of our team are still without power.
That's right.
We all work together as a team. We came together to turn the things around quickly. The KSC was able to open and get our teams in to start looking at the spacecraft launch vehicle, working through anything, impacts from the hurricane. Thank God there wasn't many significant impacts, so we were able to work through that. We were able to get the team together to work things and able to get to this point. Mm-hmm. So it was a huge monumental task, but this team really came together and got it done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jenny, do you have any questions for Denton again? I think you're kind of speechless right now.
I know. I mean, what does it mean for LSP to be part of Europa Clipper's journey?
I mean, the mission itself is amazing.
Yeah.
And to be the team that helped enable the spacecraft to get where it needs to go, to get the science that everybody's looking forward to getting. Right? I mean, I couldn't tell you how excited I am to really get and hear some of the science of the discovery that's going to come from this mission.
Yeah.
So it always means a lot to LSP to be entrusted with such a monumental mission and to get it where it needs to go successfully. So that's always, significant to have us be a part of that. So,
incredibly beautiful launch.
Yeah, you guys enable so much science that can really change our outlook on our planet, on our universe. So thank you for that. And because as a little thank you to you, I know you guys love our launch highlights. So why don't we take a look at another launch replay from today's Europa Clipper launch.
And here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. And liftoff. Liftoff of Falcon Heavy with Europa Clipper, unveiling the mysteries of an enormous ocean lurking beneath the icy crust of Jupiter's moon, Europa.
Engine chamber pressures are nominal.
See that the chamber pressures are nominal as we hear. All 27 Merlin engines look great.
Rocket beginning to roll. Putting down 5.1 million pounds of thrust. Coming up, they're going to back off those engines just a bit.
So we get ready to head into max
power and telemetry nominal.
We hear that power and telemetry on the vehicle are good there. Everything's looking really
Falcon
well.
Heavy is supersonic.
They have reduced power in the center core to get through max dynamic pressure on the launch vehicle as we approach that. The two side boosters at full throttle.
I feel like Jenny couldn't really watch that video because she was going to start breaking down again.
I'll watch it later.
Yeah, it was really cool to see that again, those highlights from today. It really just brought me goosebumps again to be thinking about the science that this launch is enabling. So that's going to wrap it for us here at Kennedy Space Center for this live launch coverage of NASA's Europa Clipper mission. A huge congratulations to everyone involved and a big thank you to everyone who participated in our broadcast, especially Jenny Kampmeyer. Thank you so much.
It's been so fun to be here, and I just love the this is the start of our journey of exploration, scientific discovery, everything we're going to learn from Europa. It's just amazing.
And again, this is huge for astrobiologists around the world, but really all scientific disciplines can really gain something from this.
Absolutely, and it's going to change our understanding of kind of our place in the universe. If this is a world that could support life, what does that say about other solar systems that may also have worlds, like Europa?
So you got to wait 5.5 years, though.
I know.
How do you feel about that?
We got to be patient, but it's going to be worth the wait. I think we'll all be sitting on our hands anxiously waiting to get to Europa, but it's going to be worth it.
And obviously there is work to be done while it's coasting there. One other thing that I wanted to bring up for before we let you all go is, Jenny, talk to us a little bit about your trajectory, how you got here to NASA, because I think that's an inspiring way to maybe end this podcast.
Yeah, people always ask, how can I work for NASA? How do I get to do what you're doing? There's there's a lot of different paths. My path was a little bit non-traditional. I started my career as an adult as a musician. I was a classical musician and orchestra librarian for a bunch of years. I went back to school for engineering, and now I'm here at NASA. And it was actually watching a launch that kind of kicked me down that path. So if you're out there and you're thinking, I want to work for NASA one day, just go down the path that you want to go down, and you can get there eventually.
Yeah, and we're so lucky to have you. Thank you so much. And if you want to continue to follow along with this mission, just scan the QR code on the bottom of your screen. I promise it's the last one. This one will take you to europa.nasa.gov. Together, we will discover the mysteries of both Europa and our home planet. Have a great day, and go Europa Clipper!
T-10. I've never been more excited about the possibility of discovery.
We are now at the point where we can bring together lots of different types of people.
You talk about grit and determination and resilience.
These are areas that humans aren't designed to go to.
We put together this amazing adventure and mission.
So when I turn it on, whoa! Decisions we might make could influence other things.
And it's everything. I hope that we can do something to turn us around.
There are many questions raised by the mission that we still need to answer.
The story is never complete.